August the 31st, 2024. Guys, it's a Saturday morning here in central Mississippi. We're overcast, and it looks like it may stay that way for the next several days. That's a good thing with the heat factors we've been dealing with in the southeast, and really it's spreading across the nation now. Even places further north are seeing milder winters and things like that. Some are seeing hotter spots, especially in the northwest. You're not getting any moisture in there, and you got the fires that we're watching. But guys, things are kind of getting a little strange. Again, we're one day away from being in September. And that's when we really see, starting from now, we really see a lot of big hurricanes. Right at the end of August, we've seen some major ones throughout the last few decades. But right now, we're seeing the three-storm pattern that we talked about in the video last night. Now, this has jumped to a 50% chance, and we'll read that. This one is still at a 10% chance, and it is slightly drifting to the north. One thing that has changed in the cone of the second storm, besides being upgraded to a 50%, is now it's starting to get just a slight bend to the north right there. It was pretty much a straight line yesterday, not much of a bend, but that's changing. But the strangest of all of these is this system right here, 20% chance of cyclone formation in 7 days. I mentioned in the video they're looking at something long term in order to put up this 7-day forecast. It says a broad area of low pressure near the upper Texas coast is producing some disorganized showers and thunderstorms along and just offshore the coast of Texas and Louisiana. We're getting it here also in Mississippi, Alabama, the Florida Panhandle, and thank goodness, compared to last year, I'll take this rain and all, but what's going to happen, guys, and I talked about it last night, and I did not think that it would set where it's going to set and possibly move back offshore at that time. But let me read it again. The broad area low pressure near the upper Texas coast producing some disorganized showers and thunderstorms along and just offshore the coast of Texas and Louisiana. This system is expected to linger near the coast through much of next week, and some slow development is possible if it meanders offshore. Some of the models are predicting that. Regardless of development, heavy rains could cause some flash flooding across portions of coastal Louisiana and the upper Texas coast during the next few days. And that's what we're dealing with, guys. It's sitting there almost like it's being controlled because it's not moving with any of the other weather patterns. And it just happens to be, the Gulf states, which are mostly red states. Just saying, nothing positive here, but I want to show you a model from one of the links on our website, and it's called Ventusky. It's been there for a dozen years. Very informative, and they have a forward-looking projection. Now, it's not like the spaghetti models and things like that. It's a little different. So let's take a look at that and see what they're showing. Again, this storm right here could be some trouble as far as flash flooding, and it may step back into the Gulf, come along the very edge of the Texas and Mexico border, and then turn right back around as a strengthened storm and come back into the same area again. And this is a link on our website, bpearthwatch.com. Scroll down the left side and you'll see Ventusky or Ventusky, any way you want to say it. But I've got it set at wind gust. You can change all of these peripherals anytime you want. Right here is one of the systems that we're watching. Right there, it's showing rotation. This is today's date. We're going to go forward with it, but here's your Cabo Verde Islands there. And it's showing the rotation. It's showing a slight one here for the storm that has a 50% chance right in this area. And then offshore here in the Gulf. Now, this is the system that's setting off the Texas and Louisiana coast. I mentioned in the video last night that Houston area, you're going to start to see these winds coming from behind you and moving offshore, and you're seeing that now. And the storm is really setting still. It may actually be getting ready to move slightly south, and that's what they're talking about, the possibility of it lingering around for a week and maybe even strengthening. So let's move forward in days. Today's the 31st right there. Let's go to the 1st September. You can see that rotation is setting down here a little further out, guys. So it is definitely according to the Ventusky model, moving out away from shore. Let's go to the second. Look at this. It's already jumped back out into the Gulf of Mexico. This is by Monday. So it's definitely starting to do that move that we're looking at. Now let's go to the third. Still sitting there, moving a little further closer. Fourth, moving back towards Houston. Look at that. On the fifth, setting right here, much stronger winds. Let's see what we can pick up with this. We're getting 57s. 57 looks like the max here, and this is wind gust 1 hour. And if we go to the 6th, let's see what we're going to get. Here it is setting over our house just about. And what it's going to do when it pulls in, coming back in, that would be this Friday. If this model holds up, Pensacola, Mobile, Gulfport, you're going to start to see a lot more inflow and start to get some of that moisture you need. But again, we're talking about flooding. Look at this. The storm's still sitting here, pulling wind across the Texas area back into the Gulf, picking up moisture and moving this way. And you're dealing with tropical depression winds at that point. We'll just go to the 7th. I want to watch what the other storms are going to be doing into the Gulf. Also, back it out. Now look at this. Back offshore. Amazing. I don't know, is it stuck or is it being steered? But what's happened now by the 8th, that's been the date we've seen on the models. Look right here, right off the Yucatan. That's the first storm. So we're going to watch them both for a while. We got another one behind these. Let's go to September the 9th. This one's in the Gulf. Look at the trend of the wind moving to the north, northwest right there. The other storm possibly has moved inland or is being combined into here. I'm not sure if it has anything to do with this system. I think this is the one we've been watching that was sitting down here in the Bahamas. But it's jumping pretty fast. Let's go to the 10th. Much faster storm. We're getting, wind speeds picking up. Tropical depressions, 40 is there. It will probably be a tropical storm. But it's in much warmer water than what we're used to and some of the models are used to. So it could be strengthening much quicker. But let's watch. Let's go to the 11th. It's moved north, headed towards Texas. Winds have picked up. Here we're getting some 80 mile an hour, 81 mile per hour gust. So it's definitely strengthening. And you're going to be getting some wind coming in around the Rio Grande right there on the border, Corpus Christi. Let's watch what happens next. Now this, again, second storm, very much intensified. There's 100 mile per hour gust. Here's Galveston. Here's the Louisiana line right at Sabine Pass. Check that out, man. Very strong. All right, 13. We see it come ashore and setting over just north of Jackson, Mississippi, still pulling in moisture into the Mobile and Pensacola area. We'll go on to the 14th, and then we're going to back this thing out. Look, right here. Now, it looks like the moisture's moved up along the east coast, pulling up through here, slowed down. But let's come back and look at what we've got back out here. If we can see any examples of it strengthening. Here it is right there. That's what they're showing. Not much rotation in it. We're talking about 34, 35 mile per hour winds. And we're looking far out. I understand that. And the further out you look into time, the less reliable the models will become because of the constant changes. But this storm is very interesting. Look, setting up here. That's one of the ones that will pull off as we look at some of our other models. But it's going to be a long, wet week, followed by a possible very strong hurricane, guys. They're saying 100 mile an hour gust. I think that's going to be probably sustained winds or even more. We could be looking at a Cat 3 or 4 by the 13th, 12th or 13th, somewhere in the Gulf of Mexico. Let's take a look at this Canadian model first. Here's our storm coming in. It goes out to the 10th now, I think 9th, 10th, right there sitting in the Gulf. And this thing's going to change. We know it is, but as we were watching a couple of days ago, it looked like it was going to possibly move into Mexico. Here's a second storm just setting there. I think they're not really modeling it that much. They're focusing right here as they should be. Now, the Euro model is showing basically the same thing by September the 10th. Notice your timestamp in the bottom right. Setting right here is a very powerful hurricane. Again, possible 3 or 4, and we're into September in hot water in the Gulf and in the Caribbean. This thing could be one of the giants. Just saying, we've seen Katrina, we've seen Ivan, we've seen Michael. And we're getting right in that time of the year, too. The end of August, beginning of September. So on the 10th, not only have we already dealt with the small storm that's out here lingering and moving around and filling up everything with water, but this thing right here could be a major flood event and a major storm. We know we're a few days out, but I think it's important, mainly because of we know that the storm in the Gulf is going to linger around out here. It looks like it's already starting to do it, and we don't know how far it can strengthen. But we're watching this, guys. You watch it. It's a heads up. Be safe.